Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Smitty's Diecast and Overhauls. For today's episode, I've decided to customize these two Volkswagen Golf GTIs. The red one here and a yellow one. Just take a moment here and take them out of the package. So I've had a couple of these hanging on my wall for a little while, and kind of noticed a few things on there that I wanted to change. Front ends are pretty boring. Notice there's a red interior in the yellow one, and a black interior inside the red one. I feel like they should be swapped, so I'm going to swap those. And for some reason they put the yellow wheels on the red car, and the red wheels on the yellow car. So I'm going to swap those as well. But first off, with most customs it starts with drilling out the pins. So I'll take out my trusty drill. And I'll take a few minutes and drill the pins out. You just want to drill enough off to take the head off the pin so that you can wedge the base off the casting. If you take too much off, you'll end up having to drill out the post and put a screw in or glue it. And if you leave enough on the end of the post, you can click the base back on and it's really easy. It stays together with no problems. So as you can see, I've just taken the ends off the posts. You just put a pick or even a small flathead screwdriver would work to separate it. Notice I fumble here for a moment, this yellow one. If you pinch the back windows, it comes out a lot easier. I learned that. If you're ever trying to separate it and it doesn't want to come apart, maybe you just need to drill a little bit more. This one did end up coming apart, so it was okay. The glass out of that one was a lot easier, as I learned on the first one. So now you have all your pieces laid out. So as I said, I'm going to take this red wheeled base and I'm just going to swap it with the yellow wheeled base. That way I don't have to swap the wheels at all. Take the red interior and put it with the red car, and the black interior and put it with the yellow car. I think Mattel could have done that for me, but I'll take care of it for them. So something not all of the customizers like to do, but I enjoy doing is the interiors. If it's got open windows and glass you can see through, I'll do the interior on it. So being that the car is yellow with black accents, I've decided to do the interior black with yellow accents. This video is quite sped up. I just show different clips of the processes. You can see I finished the top of the seats and the back of the seats with a small fine tip paintbrush. And then here I've got actually a toothpick. You just dab the end of the toothpick into the paint. It gives you a very precision. You just need to do a very small area and you don't want to overbrush and have to correct it. So there's a finished black interior. This is the interior that's going to go in the red car. So being that it's red with black accents, I'm going to make the interior red with black accents. So I'm going for basically the same design as the other car's interior. So again, starting with a very fine tipped brush. decided to paint the dash black as well. As I said, it's going to be quite similar to the other interior. So once you've added all the accents you want to add to the inside of the interior, goes off for clear coat. I like that because it makes it nice and glossy. See it nice and shiny. So they're back there in the background drying. So it's a nice casting, and I like the Momo tampo on it, so I wanted to leave it because the yellow and the red are alright, and I like the decal, but it needs a lot of detail work. So this is starting with a fine tip brush, doing the front grille. You can see front grille, nicely done there. And I've also decided to paint the front valance black. So I'd like to take a moment while I paint this front valance, and I'd like to thank everybody that's subscribed to my channel so far. It's not many, but we're just new. And I'd like to invite everybody to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. You can check me out on Facebook. It's Smitty's Diecast Overhauls. I'm on Instagram at Smitty's Diecast Overhauls. I'm on Twitter at Smitty's Diecast O. Or you can send me an email, Smitty's Diecast Overhauls at gmail.com. So you can see the front end valance and the grills painted there. And I've decided to paint the side skirts as well. Just with a fine tip brush. I'm just using regular craft store acrylic paint. It's got a satin finish. I always put a little layer of clear coat on top of it just to give it a nice shine. I like things nice and glossy. So as I said, I just show you little clips. Most of this stuff's done a little bit closer to my body. It's easier to do without the camera in front of my face. I'll move on to some of the rear details. I decided to paint the rear ground effects black as well. I think there needed to be a little bit more black detail on this yellow car. I think it's gonna help with the effect, make it look a little bit more like a race car. It's pretty difficult to do this on the table in front of the camera. So I do most of the detail work off camera. So I've set the yellow one aside for now, and I'm going to paint them as though they're sister cars. So I've decided to do the valance black the same as the yellow car. So fine tip brush, black acrylic paint. Just painting away. I tend to use the existing body lines as a bit of a guide. It gives you it's easier for not having a brushed line that's not clean. You just use a body line, and then it gives you a nice clean line to paint by. Here's a shot of me doing some of the work that I do generally off camera. Graciously, my wife was kind enough to take a little clip of video of me doing some of the painting that I do. not on camera off to the side. It's just easier when it's closer to my body. I can have somewhere where there's not a camera, a phone, and a setup in between me and the casting to paint on. It's easier. So this is a Sharpie silver metallic pen. I found that at the dollar store, and thought I would give it a try. Did some spot testing on some other stuff I had laying around, and it goes on really nice. Sometimes you have to dab it in order to get a nice layer, otherwise it'll get that sort of smudgy marker streak, and then you just kind of dab it on there. You see me dabbing right there, and then it comes off really nice and shiny and has a really nice finish to it. It's kind of difficult to see from the angle, so yeah, I've kind of turned to the side there, you'll be able to see better. Just do some dabbing and then you spread it out to the edges. So I used the silver pen on the headlights, and then I also did the old V-Dub logo on the back and the front. I did it on both of them. But again, it's just a little circular motion to cover it. Yeah, it shines there. And then with a little coat of clear coat on top of that, that'll look real nice. And I'm able to hit the front. The other nice thing about the acrylic paint on if it's already clear coated, if you clear coat your paint and then do your details on top, if you do a little bit of a boo-boo, which honestly happens a lot, I tend to not put them on camera, but boo-boos happen a lot. If you use the acrylic paint on top of clear coat, I usually use like a toothpick, and you can scrape off your little boo-boos without affecting the paint. So I'm showing here that I'm doing some of the same details to the red car, and this is the tail lights. So I know the tail lights on the back of the car are already red, but they certainly wouldn't be the same color as the paint, so I figured it would be nice to add just a different color of red there. And I'll do the same color on the back of the yellow car. The other nice thing about this craft paint is it dries rather quickly, so you can do a section and set it down for 10 or 15 minutes, and it's generally fairly dry to the touch. You can pick it up and move on to a different section without worrying about smudging. A lot of the touch-ups that needed to be done in black were not done in paint, they were done with a black Sharpie pen. Just prevents doing touch-ups and then having to touch up over your touch-ups. I'm certainly not perfect, and I don't get this right the first time every time. I think I recall the first casting I ever did a custom on after watching one of the really good guys on YouTube. I think Diecast Resurrection is probably my favorite. One of my first castings I ever did was Ford GT90, and I think I painted that thing 4 or 5 times before I was satisfied with the result. And it was just, I made some errors and needed to correct it. Here's some toothpick details doing the turn signals on the front end. So again, you may notice there's a little bit of over dabbing that goes over top of the body line there, and it's just easy to take a toothpick, dry toothpick with nothing on it, and you can scrape off See, that's a clean toothpick with nothing on it. I'm just giving it a little scrape just to clean up where I don't want it to be. Wipe off the tip, keep scrape away. And because it's clear coated red paint underneath, it's not going to affect it. So then these go off for clear coat. And we got some finished products. So there's originally that red interior was in the yellow casting, if you remember. And the red wheels were on the yellow casting. So I moved that over to the red car. You can see there's rear valance, side skirts, front valance, rear tail lights, the VW logos, front end, fog lights, license plates, and then on the yellow one, that black interior was originally in the red car. Same with the yellow wheels were originally on the red car. I don't know why they did that. Silly to me. But I think swapping it looks a lot better. See the details on the back there? Let me adjust that. Looks a lot better. Details on the side. And I honestly believe it looks like a completely different vehicle. Fantastic. So, with both of these, I only drilled out the posts enough that they would nicely click back together. And eventually, if I decide that I am satisfied with it, I will probably put a spot of glue in there. So I don't have the top that size, and I don't have screws that size. I forgot to mention that I also painted the exhaust tips. I thought that was a nice detail. That's a finished yellow one back together, and then we just click the red one back together. It looks much better with the matching wheels. Here's the side details. You see the interior in there, it looks great. Details on the back. And that's the two custom GTIs. Make sure if you like this video you click the button. Share this video with your friends. Again, you can catch me on Facebook at Smitty's Diecast Overhaul. Follow on Instagram. I always put up lots of pictures of the Hot Wheels I find and updates as I go doing these custom videos. You can find me on Twitter as well. It's at Smitty's Diecast O, or you can send me an email, Smitty's Diecast Overhaul, gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed. Come in for the next one.